Okay, now we understand about club face control, club shaft control, direction control. The only other factor we really need to be concerned about is power. Now we understand from our previous discussion we have two sources of power. The right arm driving down the line, or the power of centrifugal force. It comes under the law of the flail. The law of the flail. Now if you've never seen a flail, this is a small version of what a flail looks like. The red stick represents the golf club itself. The piece of rawhide is the left wrist, and that represents your left arm. And as long as the handle is moving in a straight line, you can see it doesn't affect the red stick at all. But if you start to move the handle in a circle, watch what the little stick does, how it got in line with whatever was pulling it. No matter how fast it moves, how slowly it moves, the little stick gets in line with it. What we're learning from there is the left wrist has to be extremely flexible, just as flexible as that piece of rawhide. Now, it's off plane here, but if you start to rotate it in a circle, watch how the little stick gets in line and stays in line. And where the power of the flail comes in is, no matter how fast you swing it, the golf club will line up with your left arm as long as your left hip keeps pulling, you see? If the hip stops, this keeps going, you can see that everything breaks down. So therefore, how tightly you hold the golf club has a great deal to do with this. You want a light, tight grip so the wrist can actually flex just exactly like that piece of rawhide. Now to give you a little demonstration on sound. How does it sound? If I pulled this arrow out of what could very well be a quiver, and I withdrew it with my left arm, remember my flexibility of the left wrist, right? Listen to this. Notice that it all lined up by itself as you went through the ball. There was no effort made by me to hit the ball. I merely allowed the left wrist to hinge, allowed the shaft to get in line with it as you pull through. Now that is not left arm power, in essence. That is the law of the flail. See?
Okay.
Right now we have many shots in golf where we don't need full power. For example, a 50-yard wedge, a 60-yard wedge. Anything less than full power, we could think in terms of just pulling the left, and you would get a nice amount of power without any undue strain. On the other hand, full power with any golf club would mean you'd also need to get your wrong right arm through there and the bend of the right wrist as well. So if we take that up to the top and you start to accelerate it, if you think of this picture here, you can hear just by the sound of that how much velocity you can create with your right arm, right? As opposed to, but we do need both. Right, we do need both. So I hope I've helped you understand about velocity. Now, the swinger, in fact, is continuing to keep the club head going in a circular motion. Look how that finishes. It's a complete circular motion. Whereas the hitter does this. See how everything stops right there. Then he essentially comes up here and he has what we call an angled motion. He's diverting a circle into a straight line, whereas the swinger just keeps going. That would be a hit. That's a swing. So it's up to you to be able to regulate the amount of power that you need for this particular shot, whatever it is.